And I feel like this book really explores the idea of second chance and love, and
Mhm.
emotional vulnerability. What Tell us about this story and what interests you in telling a story about people who revisit feelings, and who essentially recreates a love story that they've had, but
Yeah.
making it a new love story for themselves.
Yeah, so I mean, I really love writing. I really love the romantic trope, fake dating. It is one of my favorite things. I don't know, something about trying to tell this little white lie that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, all while you are not realizing that you're slowly falling in love with this person that you're fake
Yeah.
dating, is such a funny thing. So that was my intention going in. And then the more I wrote the story, I was like, oh, they're exes. Okay, that's fine. We'll work this out. And as I kept writing, I was like, oh, there's so many layers to this that I didn't foresee telling in this romantic story, that were super important. And the biggest thing I took away from it was, that it was a reminder to myself that, there are things in my life that have happened that didn't go the way I wanted them to, and they ended badly. It's often the case with relationships, but in other things in life. And I had to kind of take a step back the same way that Denz and Braylon do in the book, and realize is it wasn't my fault that things didn't go the way they went. It wasn't my fault that they ended badly. You didn't do anything wrong. You just weren't the person you needed to be in that moment for it to go the way you wanted. And that's a thing that a lot of us have to realize is sometimes you are not who you need to be in order for things to go the way you want them to go. And so that became a huge component of me telling this story about, two, men slowly falling back in love with each other and realizing we dated when we were in college. We were young. We didn't know, who we were becoming. That doesn't mean we don't deserve a second chance later on in life to have the love story that didn't happen then. And I think that's such a powerful message. It's such a powerful reminder for people. You deserve second chances. You deserve third chances. You deserve fourth chances. Sometimes it's not your fault that things didn't happen the way that that you expected to. That doesn't mean you shouldn't, dust yourself off and try again, like Aaliyah said, go
Yeah.
for it.
No, I also think the other theme in the book, in with telling with understanding that you wasn't the person you were supposed to be in order to receive that blessing when it comes to relationship, but also when it came to career choices too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
He was not ready to be CEO of the company.
No.
And I think when
Guy's 25. No.
Yeah, and even when we even just, book aside, but in real life, you have to be ready for that blessing, and it's going to take some time, but it will continue to come back around again. And if you're ready at that time, you'll get what it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, 100%.
So we also know that Denz's character was really layered. He, like I mentioned, he was balancing some emotional things. He had a lot going on, trying to do all the things. So how do you approach building personalities of characters such as his, that is on an emotional journey, that's trying to figure it out, that's trying to get to an end goal ultimately, but depending on where the character wants to end or where you want this character to end up, how do you make those decisions and how do we get to that point?
It's interesting because it took quite a few drafts for me to figure out where Denz. I mean, at the end of the day, I knew I wanted him to be with Braylon, but who he was as an individual and not as a part of a couple, figuring that out took a couple of tries, couple of mistakes, to kind of figure out where his journey was going to land. And I love that so much because it is a reflection of the actual story that's being told. Is that we need a couple of tries to figure out who we're going to become. It was important for me to find that balance in remembering that this is a person, and as people, we are more than just the person who's our partner. We are more than just who we are in our family. We are more than just who we are at our job. And so that helped me find the balance, was creating different scenes and different moments where I got to show Dens with Braylon, Dens as a career man, Dens as a son, Dens as a brother, and all these different things, which for me, I think helped really show, how three-dimensional he is.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like, it's, the book is it's multi-layered, and it tells so many stories that in real life, us as real adults go through on a daily basis, especially, just going through the different phases of life that we go through. And which is why I love this story so much. Because I think also it resonates with me in my career, in my life right now. Although I'm not the same age as the age group that they are in, but you pick different things. I pick up from the story that was being told there, and I love that you incorporate that in the stories that you tell.
Yeah, I try to make sure that my themes are universal, so that if you're picking it up as the 25-year-old Dens is, you're like, oh yeah, I immediately relate. But there's also different elements in the story where you can be 35, 45, you could be 65, and be like, I still know how that feels to be in that moment and not know which path is the one I'm supposed to pick.
Absolutely. And I think this is a perfect segue to this question of, what do you think makes a romance novel or books feel authentic to readers today?
I think it's just so many different things. One, it definitely has to be, that we as humans, I feel like we're allowed to be a lot more human in the romance novels now than we were previously, where it's like, it felt like everyone had these lives, even if it was messy, it was the perfect version of messy. And now I feel like, no, we're just messy. And that, that's what makes the romance story feel authentic, makes it feel real. I think, what makes a really good romance feel authentic is the end goal, yes, is a happily ever after, but how that looks does not have to be picture perfect. It can be flawed in its own way, but as long as you walk away with that hope in your chest that, I can survive, I can make this, I can get to this point, is so good to me. And I think I hate to say it, but I do love now that romances are a lot more diverse. Like it is a reflection of the world that we live in versus the small town that a lot of other people lived in back in the day,